Lil Scrappy wasn't expecting a peaceful night out to turn into one of the most intense nightclub showdowns Atlanta has seen in a long time. But that's exactly what happened when he came face to face with Kirk Frost and Young Jock in the middle of a crowded club packed with celebrities, fans, and influencers. What started off as a regular night quickly turned into a loud, chaotic scene full of tension, shouting, and eventually pushing and shoving. People who were there said the energy in the club shifted the moment Scrappy walked in. And by the time the night was over, security had to break up what looked like an all-out brawl between reality TV's biggest names. It all started when Lil Scrappy arrived at the club, full of energy, smiling, greeting fans, and laughing with his crew. People were drawn to him immediately, just like always. He was surrounded by people wanting photos, giving hugs, and showing him love. But what he didn't know was that two people in the VIP booth, Kirk Frost and Young Jock, were watching his every move. They weren't laughing, they weren't dancing, and they weren't even sipping their drinks. Instead, they were sitting still, eyes locked on the crowd, waiting. And they weren't waiting to party. They were waiting for Scrappy. Kirk and Jock had something on their minds, and they weren't hiding it. People close to the VIP section said the energy was tense. The DJ even slowed down the music a little, as if sensing something wasn't right. When Scrappy walked in, he lit up the room. But Kirk and Jock didn't move. They kept watching. They were silent, barely talking to each other, but everyone could tell they were there for a reason. Then came the moment when Scrappy caught a glimpse of them. One of his boys leaned in and whispered something, and Scrappy looked over his shoulder. He saw Kirk and Jock just staring back at him, not smiling, not raising a glass, just staring. That tension built up over the next several minutes. Kirk and Jock finally stood up and left the VIP booth. They started moving through the crowd. People stepped aside quickly, not because they were celebrities, but because everyone could feel something was about to happen. They weren't dancing, they weren't joking, and they weren't celebrating. They were heading straight for Scrappy. Scrappy, still trying to enjoy the night, turned and saw them coming. He tried to keep it cool. He nodded and said, "What's up?" in a calm voice, arms spread wide like he was open to talk. But Jock didn't smile. He didn't return the greeting. And that's when things took a turn. Jock leaned in and said something that hit hard. "Scrap, you've been talking too much." Scrappy looked confused. Jock continued, saying Scrappy had been smiling in their faces while talking behind their backs. That's when Kirk pulled out his phone and said they had proof. Screenshots, messages, and emails that showed Scrappy had been saying things behind closed doors. Scrappy tried to defend himself. He said they were twisting his words, that it was taken out of context. His voice got louder and his face turned red. But Kirk didn't back down. He said, "Context or not, you said it. Period." The argument got more intense. Scrappy yelled that he had been loyal and real with them more times than he could count. He accused them of being fake and turning on him too quickly. The crowd was now fully aware of what was happening. People had their phones out. Some were already recording. The DJ lowered the music. Security started moving closer. And that's when Scrappy said, "If y'all ain't with me, I don't have nobody." Things exploded from there. Scrappy stepped closer, chest to chest with Jock. Kirk gave a final warning. "You might want to fall back before it gets real." Scrappy fired back, "It already is real." And in that moment, Jock stepped forward just enough, and Scrappy shoved him hard in the chest. Jock stumbled back, knocking into a table. A drink flew, glass shattered, and the entire club seemed to erupt at once. Kirk lunged towards Scrappy. One of Scrappy's boys jumped in to defend him, and security was now rushing in from all sides. Drinks were spilling, people were shouting, phones were flashing, and the brawl was officially on. It didn't take long for security